Fala galera, vocês estão bom? Fernando Rodrigo na área, novamente trazendo mais uma gameplay de Sybéria, The World Before. No episódio anterior, né galera, no finalzinho do episódio anterior a gente ligou pra amiga da Walker aqui, né? Aí teve uma discussão lá, ela não conseguiu dormir. E nesse capítulo a gente vai até o distrito musical, a gente precisa pegar o bonde.
Demoiselle Lenny told me the Music Academy is near the musical square. Maybe Frau Wagner can tell me more.
Beleza. Vamos conversar com a senhorinha aqui. Deixa eu ver se tem alguma missão. Fale com Frau Wagner. Acho que deve ser a mulher aqui, né? Opa, opa.
Oh, hello, Miss Walker. Miss Walker, did you sleep all right?
Fine, thanks.
Now, is there anything you need?
A sombra marrom, academia de música.
I'd like
Direto
to
ao
go to the
ponto.
Music Academy. Can you tell me how to get there?
You just need to take the tram northbound to the musical square.
Is there anything I should know about the academy?
To tell the truth, it's a little glum nowadays. Especially when you think it was once the jewel of the town, where students came from all over the world to perform on the musical square, you know. Pity. It's since lost its panache of old, through lack of students and means.
Refúgio?
I went to the Zilberspiegel Refuge yesterday. Oh, magnificent.
I won't disagree with that, Miss Walker. Those mountains are the pride of the town, just like old Lenny.
Lenny is highly respected in Vaughan because she was a resistance fighter during World War II, right? Well, I heard about it when I was at the refuge.
Lenny Renner might be a grumpy old spinster, but to us she's still a heroine. Pity the same can't be said of her father, though. Still, everyone has their cross to bear, as they say.
What do you mean?
No point gossip-mongering. The war was a dark time in Vaughan for everyone, see? Best not stir up old memories.
Vamos falar sobre a...
Everything seems to link the person I'm looking for with the Second World War and the rise of the Brown Shadow.
Terrible times were those, my dear. Especially when Vaughan was occupied after the annexation of Ostertal. Thank God I was born just after the liberation.
I see. But I guess you had to grow up with the after effects of those events.
Oh yes, dear. There was a kind of conspiracy of silence where everyone suspected each other, even their close friends. Did any of them collaborate with the enemy? And if so, was it through like-mindedness or simple cowardice?
Cowards.
Were they responsible in one way or another for the arrest or death of a family member?
I must have been awful.
A terrible time, really.
Well, the person I'm looking for is from the same generation.
You'll just have to hope she managed to survive the madness then.
Well, I guess I should get going. Thank you for your time, Frau Wagner.
Feel free to ask if you have any more
Wagner,
questions.
tem nome de Wagner, a mulher? Ok, acho que essa missãozinha secundária aqui nós... We finish. Beleza, vamos então pegar o bonde. Don't wanna know if you are lonely. Dum, 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 dum. Vamos lá. A motoca ainda tá aqui. Eu vou ficar vasculhando aqui não, galera, que a gente sabe que não... Aparentemente não tem nada. Vamos pegar o bonde então, vá. Beleza, academia de música. Here we go. Temos dois caminhos. Não, é só um caminho pra ir. Vamos lá, galera. A gente vai reviver o cenário do primeiro capítulo do jogo, bem no comecinho do jogo, só que agora nos tempos modernos, né? Bacana. Vamos ver se mudou alguma coisa. Vamos ver se aquele pianão lá ainda tá no mesmo lugar. Beleza, chegou o bonde. Só ela pega o bonde, velho. Exclusivo pra ela. Baden. Beleza, galera. Estamos ainda em outubro de 2005. Pular aqui que não tem necessidade de ficar bisbilhotando. Imobiliária Varre. Ah, legal. Show de bola. Cara, esse fone aqui, ele tampa tanto meu ouvido que eu fico falando fone, velho. Faz pressão no ouvido, cara. Ok, use a introspecção antes de ir à academia. Ah, o carinha da padaria aqui não tem mais.
Looks like this district has been more modernized than the antique shop district.
Aqui ela não passa. Legal. O que é essa aí? Use a introspecção. Tô meio confuso com esse negócio. Antes eu achei que era recepção do episódio anterior. É, agora as lojas têm painéis de neon, né? Ah, tá. Vamos ver que negócio que eu comentei no episódio anterior. Ver se eu não... Ah, é o Oscar. Ele tá... He talk. He não. It. Coisa.
Put me down!
Oscar? Bet you can't catch it!
Don't you dare! Put it down! Right now!
All right then.
Oscar! Are you all right?
I had a bit of a bumpy ride, but I am glad to see you, Kate Walker.
Oscar! Oh, I've missed you so much.
I say, this display of emotion is most unreasonable, Kate Walker. I do hope you don't plan such profusion every time I change bodies.
It's just that I've been worrying about you. Where were you, Oscar?
Well, the mechanical instinct of my host took me for a ride, all across town. It took me the whole night to tame it, and that's when I bumped into those little rascals.
Little
Yeah,
rascals.
lucky I was in the area, huh?
Quite. So, Kate Walker, what has happened since we parted at the Balaton River?
Maybe we should just sit down for a second, Oscar. This might take a while.
Beleza, vai contar uma historinha aí pro robozinho. Eu já vi um painel ali com flores, deve ser algum memorial de pessoal que lutou na guerra, provavelmente.
And that's when Demoiselle Lenny gave me the address of the music academy in this neighborhood.
I see, Kate Walker.
Você deve achar que eu estou ficando louca. Ah, vamos, né?
Any other thoughts, Oscar?
Well, I guess I could ask you where we are heading, but truth be told, it doesn't really matter. I will follow you wherever you lead, and for as long as you require my services, Kate Walker. That's what an automaton does.
Thank you, Oscar.
Oh dear, I hope you're not going to become physical, are you?
No, I was just going to give you a pat on the back.
I would rather you refrain from having such thoughts. I am not a dog, you know. Whatever next?
Anyway, we'd better get going, Oscar. And you'd better keep out of sight.
Oh dear, I don't suppose I have any choice.
Beleza, agora a gente tem um tatuzinho pra nos seguir. Oxe, guardou ele? Ah não, que chato. Ah, legal observar.
So glad he's back.
Yes, Kate Walker? Is it really necessary for me to be shut up in here, Kate Walker?
Sorry, Oscar, but I don't want to run the risk of losing you again.
É. Não dá pra entender o que tá escrito ali.
Victims of the genocide committed by the fascists during the Second World War. Oh, so many deaths. I hope Dana made it through. Victims of the genocide committed by the fascists during the Second World War. Oh, so many deaths. I hope Dana made it through. Bullet holes. The brown shadow must have shot people dead here.
Que horror.
How horrible.
Beleza. Aqui, se eu não me engano, era alguma coisa que ela tinha mencionado. A Dana. Vamos ver se tem a marca do nome dela aqui ainda. Dana Rose. Nossa, que reação estranha. Ah, beleza. É, cara, eu não sei o que é esse negócio aqui. Use a introspecção antes de ir à academia. Se eu subir ali, eu já vou estar na academia. Ah, vamos direto, vai. Ah, tinha a sombra marrom aqui, ó. Aqui era um QG da sombra marrom, se eu não me engano. Bem nesse lugar aqui. É isso mesmo. Mas parece que ela não tem nenhum ponto para ela interagir. Então vamos subir, vai. Legal. A gente pode então dar um rolezinho por aqui, ó, que legal. Parecendo aqui o centro do Imbu. Pô, nada a ver, ela não consegue passar aqui, mano. Consegue dar a volta pro cara aqui? Ah, não passa. Achei que ia tapear o jogo, mas não deu. Entrar ainda não. Que barulho foi esse?
How is your research going, Kate Walker?
I'm so glad he's back. Do you know where the Music Academy is, Oscar?
It should logically be on the square.
Nossa, o Oscar é muito inteligente.
Wow. Pity I don't have time for some sightseeing.
Parece uma igreja, né? Que carro estranho. Parece um peixe. Uma mistura de Kombi com peixe.
An automaton musician. Looks exactly like Hans's style. Like at Bohogstadt.
Ah. Acho que essa é a primeira a levantar quando a gente começa a tocar no piano. Ó, o piano tá aqui ainda. E conservado, hein? Ah tá, acho que a inspeção é esse negócio aqui, quer ver? Ela observar,
I only know
raciocinar
Dana as a
sobre o
waitress
caso,
at the
né?
refuge, and yet everything seems to fit with her here.
Ah lá, ela lá.
Not hard to imagine her coming here to the Music Academy to study. And who knows, maybe Leon waited for her outside one day as a surprise after returning from his Baltayar expedition.
Ah, beleza. Agora entendi o que é introspecção. É uma palavra bem incomum no português, né?
Strange.
Lost inside myself. Só tem isso?
I can't open it like this. It looks like it's been mechanically sealed.
Devido à futura informatização da orquestra mecânica da praça musical, o uso desse piano é estritamente proibido até segunda ordem. Conselho de Varre, setembro de 2005.
I don't think I'll be able to open it directly.
Beleza. We done here. Vamos pra academia. Provavelmente pesquisar. Ô, louco, tudo destruído. Ou em reforma. Um dos dois. Peça pelo arquivo de Dana. É isso que eu imaginei.
All
Né?
these letters. They look like letters of formal notice. They probably haven't been paying the bills for some time.
Conselho Musical de Varre, Osterhal. Academia de Música Clássica Musical, Varre, Osterhal. 15 de outubro de 2005. Prezados senhores, em conformidade com a provisão disposta do IRD 136.2, viemos por meio deste aviso comunicar uma ordem de despejo do imóvel que de posse do Conselho Musical de Varre, que está sendo ocupado pelos senhores no momento até a data limite, dia 26 de novembro de 2005. O motivo desse aviso é o seguinte: o não pagamento do aluguel e juros de mora até a data estipulada por parte dos senhores, conforme o disposto no IRD, blá blá blá. Uma ordem de pagamento foi entregue aos senhores no dia 15 de setembro de 2005, mas não houve o registro de pagamento do aluguel entre o período de 15 de junho de 2005 até o dia 15 de outubro. Caraca. Os caras estão ocupando o lugar por quase 70 anos, mais de 70 anos. Eles não dão boi não, filho. Pagou e já era. Olha, ela não olha ali em cima? Varre celebra os 60 anos de sua libertação com comemorações na Academia de Música.
So that's the famous Vaughan Music Academy? It's not what I was expecting.
Tá feio o lugar aí. É, aqui não tem mais nada mesmo. Tem um recado aqui.
It looks like the rector is desperate to reduce the costs of running the academy.
Somente para emergências. Não é um telefone público. Reitor Maximilian Maher. Alright.
In your opinion, Oscar, who can I ask to get Dana's file?
I think I saw a bell on the reception desk. The right person will no doubt come and assist us.
Ah, fala sério, tá mal escondido isso aqui.
Guten Tag.
What now?
Oh, caraca.
If you're from the council, you can come back when I'm not so busy.
Ah, você ficou louco? Você me deu um susto.
Oh, sorry, you startled me.
So, now what do you want? Council minion?
I'm not from the council. I'm just a visitor here. I came because I was hoping to look at the file of a student from the 1930s.
Oh. I'm sorry, It's just that I haven't time for digging up old files from 70 years ago. I have way too much to do here, you understand.
I can tell you're a little overwhelmed. Where's the rest of the staff? Or maybe a student could show me.
You are standing in front of the rector, and the only employee of this academy. My name is Maximilian Mahler, and it
Mala.
falls upon me to manage everything on the premises. The maintenance, the archiving, and the lot before we close next month. So, if you don't mind...
I'm very sorry to hear that the academy is closing, and I can see you're extremely busy, but I've come such a long way to see it. I'd be so grateful if you could locate it. It's really important to me.
And so is this place important to me, too. And I would love to hear the mechanical orchestra play one last time before the academy closes. But, alas, I can't, can I? Unless,
Unless what?
well, you know.
Ah, muito bem, faça uma chantagem. E agora?
All right, then. So if I get the mechanical orchestra going, you'll get me that file, right?
Oh, of course, Fraulein. Of course.
Okay, I'll give it a try. Believe it or not, I have seen mechanisms like the one on the square before.
Well, in that case, I promise to give you the file in return for your services.
Thanks.
But I must warn you that the square has undergone some transformations over the years, and some parts of the mechanism may be difficult to get to.
Don't worry, I'll make myself thin and slide between the cracks.
You'll find some of them scattered around the square, and some of the others you'll find in the clock tower. Now, if you'll excuse me for a second.
What are you...
Now, what is the name of that student you're interested in?
Rose. Dana Rose.
And what were the years she attended our illustrious academy?
In the 30s. 1937, to be precise.
Oh, and here it is. And here you will find the annual inspection reports of the mechanisms by Frau Beckmann.
Frau Beckmann?
She was the rectress of the academy during the years you spoke of. These are from 1937. You see, I have a marvelous memory regarding archives. This is why I have chosen Frau Beckmann's, because there's something in here regarding that Edna Droz you spoke of.
Dana Rose.
Quite. You will
Que
also
memória.
find some sheet music with annotations. This is the Hymn of Wagner, which you must play on the piano on the square in order to activate the orchestra of automatons. Once you have fixed the mechanisms, of course. All right then, here you go. What are you waiting for?
Pegar. Beleza.
This sheet
Observar.
music corresponds to the piano part for the Hymn of Wagner. Someone's added annotations. They could help me play the hymn on the piano on the square, like the rector asked me to.
Que isso?
I wonder what it's supposed to represent. The report that the rectoress of the academy filled in with the help of Dana back in the 30s. According to the present rector, I should find all the information I need to repair the mechanisms on the square.
Que moleza. Só preciso encontrar as peças.
Music Academy Inspection Report, October 12, 1937.
Today, I was due to inspect the musical mechanisms that
Frau
enable
Beckmann.
students to give a public display of their talent and enable us to showcase the quality of our teaching to the people of our beautiful town.
Beleza, voltando no tempo. 1937. É logo depois que ela fez o trabalho lá de verão, né? No restaurante do Dona Florida. Mentira. Acho que provavelmente ela vai antes da viagem, eu acho.
Like every year, I needed a volunteer from our students to help me during the inspection. And this year's choice was obvious.
I'm fine, really.
Well, you're looking off colour, darling, and on edge.
No, it's just that I haven't heard from Leon since he left with the Origin expedition from Kantar. And also,
Well, we've got company. You'll tell me later, Dana, darling. Meantime, be good and stay safe.
You too, Yunta.
Junta.
Is everything all right? You look under the weather. We don't want one of our best and brightest to fall ill now, do we?
Falar sobre Leon, minimizar. Não precisa saber.
Thank you for asking, Frau Beckmann, but I'm just a little tired, that's all.
That's all.
And who was that lady?
Just a friend I met this summer.
You do keep some surprising company, Fraulein Rose. Anyway, I have something for you that will take your mind off things.
Oh?
Would it interest you to see the mechanisms that enabled you to perform so brilliantly here last spring?
That would be wonderful.
Good. Come and join me at the kiosk when you have a moment. But don't be too long, though.
Fale com o Frau Beckman. Beleza. Olha, até que ela tá correndo, rapaz.
Come and see, Fräulein.
Incredible.
Isn't it just? You see these flags? Each mechanism housing for each musical automaton on the square is represented by one of these flags.
Fascinating.
Today is the day they are being serviced. Each mechanism has been inspected by an Academy maintenance man. In theory, they're all functional. But if you like, you can go and see these maintenance men on my behalf and fetch back their respective reports. You would be doing me a big favor, as I have to inspect the piano in the kiosk. And also, it will give you a chance to take a peek at each of the automaton mechanisms.
Thank you. I'd be delighted.
Now, take this. You'll need it to open the maintenance room that leads to the most impressive mechanism of all, that of the clock tower.
Thank you, Frau Beckmann.
Do you have any questions before you go?
A orquestra mecânica, vamos ver.
Do you know who built the mechanical orchestra? My father told me it didn't exist when he was young.
They were built by a strange young French inventor by the name of Borelberg some years ago. From what I heard, he was visiting Wagen while en route to the east, just after the huge fire that destroyed the town. He was moved by the legend of Vera Schönberg, that virtuoso who died in the fire. So he offered his talents to rebuild the city and create the mechanical orchestra.
Bacana.
When the mechanical orchestra played along with me last spring, it was incredible. But how does it manage to play at the same tempo as the piano? It was almost like in a dream.
Oh, it wasn't dream work, Fräulein, but clockwork. The piano is connected to the mechanism that you are going to inspect, and the hymn of Wagen played on the keys. That's what sets the rhythm and the intensity of the performance, and that's what triggers everything else.
Ou seja, se eu tocar mal o piano, a orquestra vai mal.
What happened to Vera Schönberg? My mother always says it's the saddest story.
And she's right. You probably know that Vera Schönberg was Wagen's most famous musician at the beginning of the century. But her legend was truly born the night she performed a cello concerto, right here on the square. It was also the night of the worst fire in Wagen's modern history.
And Frau Schönberg, she died in the fire, right?
She did. As well as all the other musicians and the entire audience. They were surrounded by flames, trapped on this square.
How dreadful.
Dreadful indeed. But according to the legend, Vera Schönberg kept playing Wagen's hymn until the very end. She understood they were all doomed to die, and her music brought them peace of mind during their last moments. This automaton you played with last spring was created in her image as a final tribute.
I had no idea.
Well, now you know all about the legend of Vera Schönberg. Was there something else, Fräulein Rose?
I'll go and see the maintenance team.
Good. Thank you, Fräulein.
Beleza, pegamos a chave.
According to Frau Beckmann, it opens the maintenance room just next to the clock tower.
Ok. Então eu não preciso ir lá por enquanto, né? Eu posso trocar aqui de personagem novamente. Vamos ver.
Looks like the rector was right, Oscar. I should be able to find the mechanisms he wants me to repair by following the circuit Dana described in the report.
They would.
Será que eu faço alguma coisa aqui no relógio? No piano, aliás? Acho que não, né?
If the report is right, a flag is raised only when the corresponding mechanism is working. Too bad. It could have helped me find them. I can't open it like this. It looks like it's been mechanically sealed. I don't think I'll be able to open it direct.
Bem, vamos mudar aqui. Eu tenho que de consertar a orquestra mecânica, consertar o autônomo para consertar. Ok, mas eu preciso. Deixa eu ver o que esse cara tem para falar.
You can tell, Frau Beckman. This automaton still works correctly, but it's so filthy that it won't last long. It's gonna take me the whole day to give it a good clean if it's to get past winter.
I can hardly believe I held my concert here just 6 months ago. 6 months. Seems like a lifetime. So much has happened. Meeting Leon for a start. It would be so good if you were here now. I love receiving his letters since he left to Baltear with the Origin expedition. The way he described Kantar, the capital, made it sound like a city from a dream. We've said so much on paper. And I love to read between the lines. But since the expedition left Kantar for the mountains, no news. I just hope he's okay.
Tá bom, levanta, mulher.
The maintenance man said it was functional. I shouldn't touch it.
Sabe o que eu vou fazer? Eu vou tirar uma foto disso aqui. Porque eu tô achando que eu vou precisar.
It seems perfectly functional.
So you're the one Frau Beckman sent, are you? Well, you can tell her there's no problem with this automaton. Just needs cleaning up and a bit of oiling. Have a gander at the mechanism if you like.
Beleza, eu preciso chegar em... Ah, aqui então não tem corrente. Mas ela não passa. Acho que é... Eu acho que é aqui, ó. Eu acho que deve ser aqui mesmo. Não, não é. É aqui.
It's locked.
Ah, legal. Do lado.
Hey, careful what you're doing here, right? Don't go and injure yourself or damage any of the material.
Galera, eu vou fazer o seguinte, vou colocar essa gameplay por aqui, espero que vocês tenham curtido. No próximo capítulo a gente dá sequência aí, pra desvendar as... consertar, né, o piano. Beleza? Um grande abraço, valeu, fui!